Black Friday was a huge win for corporations, and the biggest losers is Americans that had to put it on payment plans, buy now, pay later. Sales were up, but not because people had money, because they used apps like Klarna, Afterpay, and I got some numbers, I got some facts, and I got another person coming on the video later on talking about what they're seeing. So Black Friday didn't prove Americans were doing great. It just proved corporations were desperate and there are more financing options available than ever. So it wasn't a shopping holiday, it was a debt trap. And we're going to talk about how to get out of it and what to do if you're in it. And so let's go over some of the numbers because people have been messaging me, emailing me, and saying that there was a record spending spree. It was $11.8 billion on Black Friday. Cyber Monday sales are up 9%. CEOs are celebrating. Wall Street is saying consumerism is strong. Corporations made billions. But that didn't prove anything because I got some numbers and people are borrowing like never before. And so let's look at what is really going on. And when you look at the numbers, it isn't looking so good. Buy now, pay later is up 42% year over year. Credit card debt at all-time high. Delinquency rates highest since 2012. People use Klarna and Afterpay for shoes, makeup, fast food, groceries, gifts. If you buy now, pay later, and you pay within 4 to 5 payments, this is not considered a strong economy. This is considered the debt trap of 2025. Black Friday prices were fake. 70% of sales were the same as they were in October. Some items were even more expensive. Doorbuster TVs, low quality Black Friday deals. Most discounts were artificial and 5 to 15%. Americans went into debt for discounts that didn't really exist. So most Americans couldn't afford to spend the money that they did over Black Friday and Cyber Monday. 65% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Credit card debt hits 1.2 trillion. The average credit card balance is still at $6,500. Car payments $529 to $750. And when people told me in the comments section that we're at high Black Friday shopping, we did records. We're seeing articles. Black Friday shoppers are relying on buy now, pay later. And when you look into the numbers a little bit deeper, you see that spending on buy now, pay later has exploded from last year. And when articles come out that says Black Friday sales are breaking records according to data, and the company said more shoppers are relying now on buy now, pay later, and you look into how many people actually spend money on buy now, pay later service is absolutely brutal. And so let's look at that. 64% of shoppers use credit cards or buy now, pay later for their Black Friday / Cyber Monday deals. And there's other reports saying 21% of shoppers strictly rely on just buy now, pay later. And they're going as high as 32% of shoppers are saying during these holidays are just going to use buy now, pay later. And when you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to buy now, pay later, and I always wanted this PlayStation that is on sale, I have it right here, and you can open up the Klarna app, and this is what I've done. And I started looking around because people always say, oh, it's not too bad. Oh, it is. So you can get it for $664, this PlayStation. But now here comes the kicker. You can finance it for 36 months, starting at $21.45 a month. And when you're looking at that, I'm like, man, that's doable. I have $21. Let me get this PlayStation. You're going to pay 25% to 30% more when you're done with paying that 36-month loan for that PlayStation than you would have if you didn't do it. And there's so many funding options now on Klarna that it's hard to pick which item you really want to finance. If you want to finance it with, if you want to go to Target and finance it, Best Buy or Abunda financing. So you see all these traps, you're seeing all these places, and you can get 2% cash back. A lot of people aren't looking at the fine print. And so I got the fine print. Let's look at it together. But before we do this, if you like content like this, please click like and subscribe. That would really help me out. So here we go. If you're paying for, that's kind of Klarna's thing, I believe, where you're paying for increments. I did that on my Starbucks loan. Okay, if you're paying for one-time card fee. So you can do a one-time card fee. That's what I've done with the Starbucks order. It will cost you between $1 and $3 application on a one-time card. So what they basically do is they'll generate a card for you. And then once that card is generated, you can then use that as a normal Visa card. And it's getting even crazier. So financing $1,000 cost $173 a month over 6 months at 13.9% APR, ranging from 0% to 36%. And I have it here circled. So you can actually go into debt and finance something for 36%. 3 equal payments of $333 at 0% to $353 at 36%. So you're seeing that you can get into debt at 36%. And now when we're looking into these numbers and we're looking at it, and I had articles showing that 30% of Americans are going to use buy now, pay later to fund their shopping spree. And when I'm looking at that, okay, from that 11 something billion, 30% of them basically used that buy now, pay later service. 30% of these people that bought it are going to say, "Oh, I have buyer's remorse. Let me get out of this before it gets too bad, because it just sucks. This is layoffs upon layoffs. This is just not happening, and I might be in trouble, and I shouldn't have bought this. I just bought it because of a deal." So let's watch this guy talk about what's going on in the economy.
Alarm bells for America's job market are ringing, and doing so loudly. In October, more than 40,000 workers received warn notices. Those are notices of impending layoffs. It was actually one of the highest monthly totals ever recorded. That spike, combined with the worst October for layoffs in 22 years, is a big troubling sign for experts and may point to bigger issues with the economy moving forward. So we're helping you get prepared for what may lie ahead. Talking with several experts, they say do this. You want to build an emergency fund for you and your family as quickly as you possibly can, about 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. It's kind of hard to do that, right? Given what we know about hiring right now, it remains low and stagnant. You may want to consider things like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, as well as a means of getting some extra income into your household and shoring up your financial reserves. Also, think about reducing your spending as well. Maybe those subscriptions that you really don't use anymore. Go through your list, figure out what you're spending money on that doesn't make sense, and get rid of it. Also, pay down your debt. Experts say start with that high interest debt, typically credit cards. And if you're having trouble paying your bills, call your creditors, work out a flexible payment option.
So you heard it. And this is just how it's going. And the traps are laying everywhere. It is more than ever that these buy now, pay later buttons are everywhere. Retailer are emailing you. It's $10 a month, $4 today. And this is another trap, because if you can get the price down lower and lower and you just finance it for 36 months, who cares, right? Cyber Monday, extend it to the whole week. They wouldn't do that if they could just do a one-day type of sale. Nope. Easy payments, front and center, credit and card sign offers everywhere. And this is what I'm telling you, that there's every cashiers now is a registered credit card salesperson. Retailers now know you're broke. They're selling affordability, but it is just not having it. And corporations don't even care if you can't pay. They just lock you in and they'll deal with the credit card. They'll get their money, and then they just let it be the credit cards problem, or the buy now, pay later service, and they're going to come after you. And so the big losers on Black Fridays were Americans who now owe 4 payments on an item that they purchased, who maxed out their credit cards, who bought gifts before rent, who will skip meals in January, and who got sucked into fake deals. And this is how it's going. And this is what I've been saying it. The winners of Black Friday and Cyber Mondays: Amazon, Walmart, Target, every credit card company, buy now, pay later lenders, debt collectors, and banks who charge 30% interest for your mistakes. Corporations win twice. They get you purchased today and your interest tomorrow off of your future earnings. And this is why it's so dangerous. And this is what I tell people all the time. You gotta protect your money. And when I see people in my comment section saying that savings bad, you can't, you're never going to get rich with savings. Of course you're not. But if you got that emergency fund, like this other guy said, and you're going to have that in place, and then you can start investing afterwards. Because I'm telling you right now, to outdo a 36% interest rate is very, very hard in the stock market or everywhere else you're looking. It's going to be really difficult to find investments that are going to pay you more than 36% yearly than it is just to pay that debt off and then get an emergency fund in place and then invest it into that. But yeah, there's people that are like, oh my gosh, you never get rich with saving money. No, but it is your seed capital that you're then going to deploy, and you can then invest in something that you want to do. And it has to start with $1,000. Unfortunately, nobody's going to just say, you know what, I like you, Jimmy. I like you, Lena. Let me just give you $1,000,000 and here you go. Put it in a stock market or somewhere else and just live off of the interest. No, unless you're going to inherit it, you have to work for it. You have to do something. But then there's always people that say, oh, I'm just gonna do this and that. And then way later down the road, they call Dave Ramsey up and say, you know what? Now I'm 60, now I'm 70, and I have nothing to my name besides a car that I've also financed, and I'm 5, 6, 7, 8 car payments away, but I'm in trouble. I am stuck. And so this is what I want you to avoid. And this is why I've been telling people, get your emergency fund ready. Try to make some extra money, because if you got your house paid off and you got no loans, you're doing good. And you can then, if you're going to get that pink slip and people will fire you, and we've seen that even federal jobs, you will have flexibility. You don't have to go sweating at night thinking, where's my next meal gonna come from? But if you're doing everything buy now, pay later, and you're just gonna go out and finance everything, your budget's gonna be so tight. So your budget's gonna be so tight that a small little kick in the road, a small engine problem with your car, a small little tire change on your car will literally almost bankrupt you, because you have to then finance that, and then everything over it. If you max out your budget with all these buy now, pay later, $20 a month, it will add up and you have no room to breathe. You're in debt to your eyeballs, and everybody around you thinks, man, you're doing so well. You got all this stuff, but it wasn't so good after all. And this is why I'm so advocate of getting your life on track, of not spending when you have to, just because you read big numbers on that and the TV and the news are telling you it's been the biggest sale ever. It has been the biggest thing ever. You've seen people in my comment section that said, nah, my store didn't do very well. We only did good in the super low budget discounted aisle. The rest just didn't really work out. But then you see other stores where these people that have a lot of money, 100, 200, $300,000 income earners, that are gonna buy stuff, they're like, why not? And I'm telling you, if you have 100, 200, $300,000 saved, you're making that much money, you're good. You don't have to worry about it. But these people that don't have a few $100,000 laying around and are trying to make it, are trying to retire, figure out ways, how can I do better? Those are the people that are making this content for, and say, you don't need a new car. You don't need to go out and spend 4 payments on something that you don't really need. And I got some other messages from people that have been telling me, I was trying to look for soap deals. I'm trying to find essentials on Black Friday. I was trying to gobble some of those up, but there's just nothing there for me to use on a daily basis. And so those Black Friday deals were non-existent. And this is why I tell people, you gotta learn about money. You got to have these conversations in your 20s, in your 30s, so compound interest will carry you into your 60s and become financially free, financially literate. But it has to start with the conversation. It has to start with them not telling you, hey, maybe maybe buying something on 4 payments isn't the way to go. But if nobody has these conversations with you and you see all these other people buying, you're gonna get into FOMO. You're going to get into the area where people are like, you know what? I want to buy this too. And I have $21. Let me go finance it. And then all of a sudden, it just keeps stacking up. And when bills are starting to just keep stacking up, keep stacking up, keep stacking up, it is gonna be brutal. And yeah, this is how it goes. And I really hope that a lot of people that, according to my poll, said, I'm not doing it. If you don't have the money, please don't buy it. Let me be the voice of reason. If you don't have the money, don't do it. If you have the money and you wanted to buy a boat and there was a Black Friday deal on a boat, go ahead, buy it. But if you don't have it and you gotta finance it for 100 years because you're like, oh, that's a doable payment for me, it is not a good financial decisions. The only people that are gonna win is executives and these financing companies. It is Klarna, it is CEOs, and everything in between. So this is why I tell people all the time, make sure you understand your finances. Use AI to leverage your finances to see what's really going on and to create a budget for yourself. But I know when I say that, super controversial. People yell at me in the comment section, say, "Oh, I don't need a budget. I'm good. I'm just gonna finance it, and this is just what I'm gonna do." And that is a free world we're living in, the United States of America, and you have the right to do whatever you want to do. But if you want to succeed, you want to build wealth, you have to save $1,000. You got to get a nesting pod ready so you can then invest and grow that money. Because even if you ask Google, how do you invest or how do you get rich with no money? It says invest in skills, invest in better money habits so you have something to invest it in. Because if you're going to take your $10 or $200, $300 and you put it in the stock market and you apply a bunch of leverage to it, it's going to be gone quicker than you can say what happened. But yeah, this is it after Thanksgiving. This Sunday, it is kind of cold. I have to wear a sweater today. And yeah, I wish you guys all the best. I have no financial investment in you. So you do whatever fits your family, but you owe it to yourself to make the best decision. I just have to say that because people say, you want to sell me something? I'm truly not trying to sell you anything. I don't even have channel sponsors. So I say literally whatever I want. And that's what I'm going to say. Another controversial thing, this Jeep is really, really amazing and I really like it. And people are like, that's not a status symbol. I know it's not, but it is one heck of a fun car. And yeah, some recalls on it, but besides that, I do like it. And yeah, actually, we'll get another one. So I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.